So you mentioned, Cinder, you were doing production coordinating. So how did you get into this whole world? Let's go back. Let's go back into history. How did you get into this whole film world?
Well, when I was younger, I was really into drawing and painting, so I did that most of my life, and I was really into comic books, graphic novels, and then around high school, my friend David Yoon, he's really into film, so we would go home and watch a movie every day after school, just like loved it, and then he started making shorts, so I kind of got it from him. I got the filmmaking bug, and I didn't really pursue it in college. I did visual arts and art history with the concentration in film, so I still was continuing filmmaking in college, but not in like a traditional film school. And both my film professors were experimental filmmakers. We were watching and making some really weird stuff. Um, but
I gotta ask, weird as in how?
painting on film, like Stan Brakhage stuff, like you're just no sound, just watching it scratched film roll through a projector kind of stuff that makes you just your eyes want to bleed and
Your eyes
but
want to bleed just like the
I'm
film
like,
is.
my ears want to bleed. No.
but it's cool. It's very much about like film formalism and timing and all that stuff. And then I started interning on movies during college. I decided to pursue that instead of any other track. Like art history is super competitive, and yeah, so yeah, more competitive than film, if you can believe that. But yeah, I started interning on different movies. One of the first ones I worked on was a movie called Afterlife with Christina Ricci and Liam Neeson. And I was a production office intern. And I think that department I do think sometimes departments pick you depending on your personality, and I'm pretty organized. So I just kept getting hired in the production office. And I slowly worked my way up after a few years. And then I started production coordinating when I was about 25, and it was a movie called Sleepwalk with Me. That was my first coordinating movie. But yeah, I did that, and it took so long to be able to make enough money, save up, and make films again, and to take the time off of working because it's such a grind and a
Sure.
hustle. But yeah, and then I made I think my first short film after college in 2013, and then from there I made like three more after that, and then Artist Unknown.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
learned I learned so much from the coordinating side. In the production office, you are one of the first ones hired. You're one of the first last let go. I mean, I wasn't too familiar
Mhm.
with post. That's like a whole nother world. But yeah, I've seen so many films just come together from start to finish. So I knew what meetings need to happen. I don't necessarily know like what the content of those meetings are, but
Like
you know,
logistics meetings and all of those things.
production meetings, tech scouts, director scouts, tone meetings,
Hmm.
yeah, all that stuff. Uh,
So, but
All the different color sheets, the white sheets, the blue sheets, the yellow sheets. Did you have to go through all that? Like they're like, oh, here's the
blue,
first version, second
the
version, third.
color wheel,
Like,
yes,
yep.
blue, pink, yellow, green, goldenrod. That's those are the double
yeah,
white.
we
If you
read
want to
from the
get
pink. We read from the pink
Right.
version.
When I
So,
was when I was doing my production stuff with Disney, I got to be part of all that stuff. It's amazing, all of the
yeah, it's
behind
so
the
much.
scene things that it takes to make a production work before you even get to set.
It's so much communication with all the departments, making
Cool.
sure everybody's doing the same thing,
Yeah,
hmm
making the same movie.
which I was gonna say, like making your first full length feature. When you make a short and um, all of the things that you forget and that you don't do when you make a short, and then you realize that you can't go back and do again. Then you have to go and you have to make a feature, and you have to have all of these departments, all of these things, all like how did you attempt to wrangle all of that?
Oh gosh. Well, we didn't have big departments. We knew we had to keep it small.
Mhm.
We knew we
But
just had to
even with small departments, people still have to do those other jobs.
100%. Everybody did double, triple duty. I mean, we just kind of divvied up all the roles. I mean, I was kind of like the main producer. Lauren Lamel came on after, but she was pretty new to it, so I was kind of trying to teach her as we were going along. So yeah, I was producing, making the schedule, making the budget. Kerry was is the actor in it. She did art department, wardrobe, Jesse did double triple duty too, and he was, yeah. So
That's
because
Jesse
of
Sperling was the cinematographer.
And this is a full feature. Like look at all the work, all the double duty people just pulled on the production we were just involved in.
Yeah.
And that was 4 days, and you and I together were involved in 1 day. I don't even want. Wow, that's a testament just to you and all of the people on this project, and how much work you put into to really make it come together as well as it did. That's awesome.
it's like kind of an impossible task, but I think with filmmaking, it's always about simplify, 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 simplify. I think people always try to overcomplicate it, and I'm like, it's gonna get complicated on its own. So yeah, try to simplify as much of the elements as possible. So, that started even in the script writing process. It's all location, location, location. So if you can streamline and shoot in like three for a feature film, so it's really hard to not think about that while you're writing and just like focus on the story. But I mean, if you want to do a feature that's a short film, you kind of have to, and that did involve the script writing process. Like, it is a hybrid movie because I couldn't go the full story beats of what an action movie is. It's like usually there's the beginning fight, there's the inciting incident, there's like the appearance of the bad guy, and then the training, and then so we have
Mhm.
elements of all of that, but we couldn't do it fully. And then then we introduced the romance, but then I couldn't do a rom-com in its full extent because it's like you meet and then they go on like hundreds of dates, and like that's pretty traditional story
Mhm.
beats for rom-com. So it's like we couldn't satisfy both of those genres successfully with the budget, so we had to kind of just like take pieces from it.